So hey anime fans, the series name is What If Naruto Became Red Dragon, so let's start the series. Monster! I am hoping you die for your sins, die and visit hell. Naruto Uzumaki, you are banished for harming Sasuke Uchiha, and could be killed on website if you step lower back into this village. Demon, why did I ever love you, monster, you baka? You hurt my Sasuke Kayun. I'm hoping you die, you fox demon. You're a failure and nugatory piece of trash. Why did I ever train a demon like you? I'm hoping you die in a hollow like the piece of shit you all. You're a failure, you've been disowned. No person will ever love a demon such as you, freak. Underscore 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 underscore. Please forgive her and me, Naruto. We tried everything and hope you locate peace outdoor the village. Little brother, be secure, my little brother. Find peace and by no means let everybody manage to be their weapon. Live to your sake and discover peace. I recognize that I can't ask you to forgive anyone an issue that has came about to you, however recognize this. Regardless of, I can love you as my son, Naruto. Underscore 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 a pair of eyes snapped open from having a nightmare of his beyond once more, and shout his upper body upwards. Sweat protected his frame and breathed very tough of the desires of his past. While nightmares got here, only some moments of that dream have been one of the satisfied moments he found coronary heart taken, and what his past life had again then, this become a 19-year-old Naruto Uzumaki, the former ninja of the Leaf Village and now something else. He had blonde hair that sparked golden dust and distinct color eyes, the left ocean blue and proper woodland green. He had 3 whisker marks on each aspects of his cheeks that had been dwindled, being light scars that may be seen on occasion inside the mild. He wore black shorts and wear no shirts, having the upper frame of a teach swimmer and warrior. A few scars were on his frame that reminds of a few awful or properly moments of his past lifestyles. However, the foremost one changed into the scare of his chest to where his coronary heart was at. Naruto sighed as he rubbed the sweat off his brow along with his right hand and shook his head, forgetting the dream he just had and moved on. It has been a long time since he dreamed the day of his banishment, and marvel why he turned into having that dream after goodbye. It could imply anything. However, he's going to leave it be and now not cognizance on his beyond. Naruto, why are you up? It's still early. A girl spoke with a tried groan leaving her lips. Naruto turns his head closer to the girl that slept with him in mattress and naked as the day she changed into born. She is a stunning younger lady with long crimson hair, white pores and skin, and blue inexperienced eyes. This lady turned into Rias, his Satan king and one in all his girlfriends. The blonde-haired teenager had stored her in the course of a raiding game among her and asshole Phoenix, and both grow to love each other via their travels together. Nothing is wrong, Rias-chan. Just a dream, nothing extra, Naruto responded at the same time as taking a few deep breaths to calm himself. Rias saw skip it, and observed that her pawn/boyfriend changed into sweating for another nightmare. This might not be the first nor the remaining time he had a nightmare of his past. She frowned a touch, understanding what dream he had and what day it's far. Every other nightmare again, Naruto? Rias asked as she moved in the direction of her boyfriend. Naruto did not spoke, however moved his arms round his lady friend's waist and held her near him. Rias positioned her arms round her boyfriend's neck and held him close to her. Devils held the alternative with care and love, now not letting the other go. Yeah, however it was only a dream, Naruto responded as he moved his right up and down on his girlfriend's lower back. Naruto, you understand that nowadays is that day. The day that you had been banished and betrayed by means of some of the humans on your beyond life, Rias said with disappointment and challenge in her voice at the same time as rubbing her right hand on her boyfriend's scar on his chest. Naruto is aware of what Rias was talking about and turned into no wonder that she will be able to ask. The purple-haired female and the alternative women recognize all approximately the blonde's past and hardships he went through to his each day. The blonde smiled at his lady friend on how a lot she cared approximately him, and cupped her chin with his proper hand, having her look deep into his eyes. I recognize what today is and do not care approximately it. If that did not happen, then I would by no means have met you or the alternative girls, Rias-chan. I am satisfied with my lifestyles and love you very lots, Naruto said with care and love, his voice with a heat smile on his face that brought about his lady friend to blush and smile returned. Rias become touched with a heat smile on her face as she then moved forward to kiss, and Naruto answered by using leaning forward as nicely to kiss his purple female friend. The two devils locked their lips in a heated kiss with their tongues struggling with for dominance but become within the blonde shoes and brought about the red-haired woman to moan as she changed into being ruled by way of her boyfriend. For the need of air, the two devils separated with worn-out sight and smiled at each different. I really like you, my purple rose, Naruto said with a heat smile as he held his girlfriend near him and started to fall back into bed together with his king in his arms. I love you too, my maelstrom dragon, Rias said with a heat smile as she rests on top of her boyfriend and rubbed her cheeks towards his before falling back to sleep. The two devils went returned to sleep until the first light of morning got here by way of and some other day was coming alongside for them. Underscore 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 time skip. As Naruto awakened first, took a bath and made his way towards the kitchen to cook breakfast for his girls. Sure, ladies, that means he has a harem and became first class with it, just like the women have been satisfactory with sharing. Since the blonde-haired younger man changed into Satan/dragon hybrid, it made understandable and clean for him to have multiple mate. Dragons are recognized to have more than one mate and have been widely recognized for some devils to have a harem. So, no problem whatsoever. How did Naruto Uzumaki, the former ninja from the Leaf Village, got here to this new global and end up greater than a normal human being? Nicely, let's pass in death with that. We could. It commenced when Naruto turned into banished from the Leaf Village and began to lone travels till he came across his Uzumaki home village. He determined many things and maximum hit the blonde very tough. He found out that the person he saw as grandfather lied to him about his circle of relatives line and what the Leaf Village had accomplished. The village allowed the Uzumaki clan to be worn out due to them being afraid and desired power for themselves. This angered the blonde but dismissed when he found something that was the key to a new lifestyles. The blonde founded an old scroll that showed the way to do a powerful jutsu that may ship a person to a brand new global. It changed into a protracted shot and could need the remaining providing, being all his chakra and the tailed beast that turned into sealed interior of him. The nine-tailed beast allowed it, and go back he will provide his host new powers to help in the international he might be going. It saddens Naruto that his best buddy could be long past later on, however was satisfied he had a friend and recognize he will continually be at his side no matter what. The nine-tailed beast or Kurama deliver all his chakra and started out to transform his host into a being which could hold something powerful and will heal his wounds from harm. Naruto then used the teleportation jutsu and teleported himself into a new global. The blonde-haired youngster has been this new international for 6 years and people years had been best he ever felt. Soon sufficient the one's 6 years lead Naruto to come across a collection of devils and later joined in a peerage as Rias's only pawn that holds all 8 pieces, being 6 mutated and everyday ones. The blonde fought many dangers with his new buddies. He is also the subsequent Crimson Dragon Emperor, and the wielder of booster tools with Dragi's sealed internal. The Welsh dragon become a first-rate buddy to the blonde and cares approximately him. Naruto becomes a dragon by giving his heart to Dragi throughout the raiding sport among Rias and Riser, which earn many skills. In a while, he brought peace to unique factions, won a few ladies alongside the way, have become a high magnificent Satan with his own peerage and revel in this new life he cherished a lot, certain. He trains and fights little together with his satisfactory friends/competitors. However, now he became in the generation of peace and enjoys to his coronary heart enjoyment. He has the whole lot he ever wanted and might not deliver it away for something, The blonde-haired teen thoughts had been cut off whilst a person hugged from at the back of and felt something smooth on his lower back, inflicting him to blush a touch and smiled at how was behind him. He saw a couple of hands wrapping round his neck and held the palms together with his proper hand. The lady behind Naruto was Akino Himejima, queen piece of Rias Gremory and every other girlfriend of the blonde-haired teen. She turned into a beautiful young lady with a voluptuous discern, very lengthy black hair and violet eyes. Her hair is commonly tied in a long ponytail, reaching all the way down to her legs with 2 strands sticking out from the pinnacle and sloping backward. With an orange ribbon keeping it in location, Naruto had helped Akino to triumph over her past and fix matters among her and her father. It became tough, however, labored out among father and daughter. The blonde-haired youngster smiled at his girlfriend and commenced to greet her. "Hey Akino-chan." Naruto greeted his different female friend as he used his left hand to get the matters he desires to prepare dinner for breakfast whilst his proper held 2 palms together. "Proper morning, Naruto-kun." Akino greeted again to her boyfriend as she rubbed her cheeks on the left side of the blonde's neck. "I see you're out and approximately. Are the others awake, Akino-chan?" Naruto asked at the same time as getting plates and food out for cooking breakfast. "Yep, they must be coming downstairs for breakfast very quickly. Additionally, I'm sad which you had Rias to sleep with and assist you these days," Akino stated with a fake pout and closed her eyes. Naruto smiled and stated, "I apprehend, Akino-chan, and nicely make it as much as you and different girls for some dates in town nowadays?" "Without a doubt," Akino requested. "Yep, and I've time to spend with my girls for the day, Akino-chan," Naruto replied as he rubbed his fingers on Akino's with a smile on his face. He planned on taking his girlfriends around for a couple things for the house and go on dates during the entire day. He won't nowadays for what passed off to him years ago. However, the blonde-haired teen will circulate beyond that to consciousness at the now and revel in the day with his women. Akino giggled and stated, "I look ahead to that, Naruto-kun, and I really like you, my dragon prince. I love you too, my priestess of thunder and mild," Naruto said with a heat smile on his face. Akino then moved her head nearer her boyfriend's face. Naruto smiled at this and turned his head towards his lady friend to capture her lips, starting a heated kiss of dominance, and moaned as they warfare with their tongues. The heated and hearted kiss keeps on going, 2 stored on trying to dominate the other. However, the blonde ruled and induced his lady friend to moan. Inside the want of air, Naruto and Akino separated with a heat smile and blush on their faces, even as retaining every different in a warm embody. They stayed like that for some time before working together to cook dinner breakfast for his or her fellow peerage participants, and others that stay on the house to begin the time off. Quickly enough the others confirmed up for breakfast and get geared up for Saturday. Naruto and Rias's peerage got here down for breakfast, even as talking over some matters, a good way to be going on these days. Just like the blonde-haired teenager going on dates along with his women, getting a few matters for the residents, some training to be in form, and relax for the day since it changed into a Saturday. Rias's peerage had Akino as her queen and almost a complete set. Her bishops are Asia Argento, a former nun and one of Naruto's girlfriends, and Gasper Vladi, a past-dressing male damper, a half-vampire one half-human with the capacity to forestall time and a friend to the blonde-haired teenager. Asia is a younger lady with long blonde hair and green eyes. She wears her former principal apparel consisted of a darkish teal nun outfit with mild blue accents. Naruto had saved her from a set rouge fallen angels and turned into her first friend earlier than they went right into a dating. Gasper is an androgynous-looking male with platinum blonde hair and pinkish violet eyes. His hair is styled in brief bob reduced with numerous small fringes over his forehead, and he has pointed ears. He wears a few attire, however wore some male clothes as soon as and while Naruto had helped the scared vampire to conquer his fears and turn out to be strong for his king. He appears as much as blonde, has an older brother discern and position mole. Rias's simplest rook is Kaneko Tuju, a Nikomata and one among Naruto's girlfriends. She is a petite girl with white hair and hazel eyes with a pair what cat ears and tail. Her handiest knight is Yuto Kiba, wielder of sword delivery, blade blacksmith. Few demon swords and one in every of Naruto's high-quality buddies. He's a handsome younger guy with short blonde hair, bluish-gray and a mole below his left eye. He wears a pleasing white blouse with a black tie and black dress pants with a couple of brown footwear. Her most effective pawn is Naruto Uzumaki, a dragon Satan hybrid, and boyfriend to his king. Naruto's peerage has a notable variety of individuals and they all are his girlfriends. His queen is Valerie Teeps, woman damper, a half-vampire half-human that has a effective sacred gear, qualities/childhood friends to Gasper and one of the blonde's girlfriends. She is a young girl with short blonde hair and red eyes. She wears a crimson dress, white leggings, and get-dressed shoes. Naruto had held and saved her from dying while the Chaos Brigade and Hero faction attacked the vampire factions. He even helped her to be with her formative years buddy, which requested her savior if he could make her a devil, and he did as they ultimate started to enter a relationship. Naruto's bishops are Kuroka, a former SS Magnificent stray devil, Nikomata, an older sister of Kaneko, and Coriana Andriophis, a Satan from one of the extinct families from the 72 Pillars, which held the rank of Marquis. Kuroka is a stunning younger lady with a voluptuous determine, long black hair with cut-up bangs, and hazel gold eyes with cat-like pupils. She wears a black kimono, a yellow obi, a set of golden beads, and an ornately exact headband. The kimono features a purple interior and it's far open at her shoulders, giving view to her huge breasts. Naruto had fought the former stray Satan as soon as which that made question her cause to end up stray and wonders. He discovered out and vowed to assist in any way. They later met when the blonde-haired teen her helped to store his king and asked her why she killed her former king. They met a couple instances to the point that the blonde-haired teen facilitates her and her little sister become sisters again, and later the two grown right into a dating. Coriana is a younger lady with lengthy, wavy blonde hair, red eyes, and wears an Enterprise suit. Naruto first met at some point of Score Games suit among Rias and Sarorg, and they had been the primary suit of the entire recreation. The primary fit became strange for Tasei and induced the blonde-haired teen to take lower back whilst the red-eyed bishop stripped, and commenced to tease him to the factor he used a low-strength dragon shot to stop the first in shape. After that, the two met more than one instances later in the underworld as pals before they began to date. The blonde-haired youngster trades his unused mutated bishop piece to the Bale, and he agreed to the deal at the same time as promising his great pal/rival that he will take off the brand new member of his peerage. Naruto's rooks are Raswise, a former bodyguard for Odin and a civics trainer at Ko Academy, and Tsubasa Yura, a member of the Scholar Council. Raswise is a stunning younger girl with lengthy, straight silver hair and aqua-colored eyes who appears to be in her past due teens. She wears a easy commercial Enterprise healthy and skirt while coaching on the faculty. When she isn't at work, she regularly wears reasonably priced, undeniable jerseys. Naruto had helped the white-haired girl whilst she became Hearth by way of the Norse god, and through the years the two won emotions towards every different. The blonde-haired youngster protected her when Euclid wanted her for himself, and the pink dragon emperor vowed to be at her side regardless of, starting the two to have their feelings open for every other and commence the relationship. Tsubasa is a tall woman with blue, shoulder-period hair and matching eyes. She has the basic appearance of a tomboy and wears boy garments. However, at college wears her girl's uniform. She wants a rook piece for Sona Citri earlier than turning into Naruto's rook via trade. It became difficult at first, and the Citri heiress failed to need an attempt but modified her mind and allowed it with the promise that she can underneath brilliant care. The blonde-haired teen agreed and two grow into a relationship. Naruto's knights are Jean, a former member of the hero faction, contains the spirit of the Maiden Orleans, Joan of Arc, and wielder of blade blacksmith, and Zenobia Corda, a herbal-born holy sword consumer who wields the Durandal and Excalibur destruction. Naruto had first Jean while touring Kyoto before combating each different, and the blonde-haired teen saved when a member of the hero faction attempted to kill her for failing. This prompted the maiden to expand emotions for a savior, and later joined him to help defeat the hero faction in Kyoto. She later joined the blonde-haired youngster as his knight, and later the two went right into a dating. Zenobia became as soon as a member of the church dispatched to find the opposite Excalibur swords together with her friend by way of her facet, and later became a Satan after gaining knowledge of God's death. As Rias's knight, she became very touched with Naruto's will to in no way give up swords for others, and cared approximately others more than himself. This made the blue-haired knight develop emotions for the blonde-haired youngster to the point that she desires to have kids with him. But he placed it on hold and need to start out gradual, which she agreed. They later move right into a courting and had her have become his knight. Naruto has no pawns yet, however received new portions and have been referred to as special portions, being Revel Phoenix, the best daughter of the Phoenix clan and supervisor for his mild novel series, and Graphia Lucifuge, head maid of the Gremory clan, known as most powerful queen and silver-haired queen of annihilation of Mikoto Gremory, Nei Uchiha, Ravel is a beautiful young lady with darkish blue eyes. She has lengthy blonde hair tied into dual tails with massive, drill-like curls and blue ribbons maintaining them in place. The front of her hair has several bangs striking over her forehead, with a V-shaped fringe placing over the bridge of her nose. She wears a long, crimson get dressed with white frills and a magenta bow within the front, and at school wears a uniform that consists of a pink button top with a white tie, a purple skirt as well as a red cape in conjunction with a blue satchel on her waist. Ravel had emotions for the Purple Dragon Emperor throughout the raiding sport on how he fought for his king and saw him as her hero so as to shield the ones he cares at some stage in her adolescence with the aid of her mother, while she became his manager for his books and two grown feelings for each other to the factor of starting their relationship. Graphia Lucifuge is a beautiful woman performing to be in her early 20s, with silver hair and silver eyes. Her hair, which flows all of the way down to her lower back, features an extended braid on each aspect with small blue bows on the ends. At the same time as the rest is allowed down, ending in twin braids. She wears blue and white French-made outfit with lengthy sleeves and a white-made scarf over her head, with red lipstick as a beauty accent. Graphia first met Naruto whilst her and Mikoto went to stop Rias from having intercourse with Issei to breath off her engagement. However, to their surprise, they determined the two seating at the sofa and talked about what turned into occurring from a window. The white-haired maid became taken again through the blonde-haired teen kindness for others, training to get more potent to shield others than himself, and wonders what direction he will stroll. They met a few different times to the point they talked to each other, as they later develop emotions for other and started a relationship, while having a peerage. Naruto additionally has familiars and a magician percent. His familiars are Tiamat, a lady dragon, and the simplest girl, some of the 5 superb dragon kings, knowing the Blue Dragon and Chaos Karma Dragon, and Fenrir, the primary son of Loki and previous member of the Chaos Brigade. Tiamat has a light blue Western dragon form, however is in her human shape now. She is a beautiful woman with directly lengthy stunning, faded blue hair, darkish blue eyes, and a chilly ecosystem that radiates from her beauty, as well as possessing an incredibly effective dragon aura inside her body. She wears a military blue kimono and dress heels. Tiamat had met Naruto while he was seeking out a acquainted, and she or he blamed him for what Drake had performed when borrowed her treasure. Instead of fighting the dragon, the blonde-haired teen vowed to help her locate her treasure, and no longer allow any other devils to take her as their familiars. This shocked the dragon's coronary heart, and allowed the Purple Dragon Emperor to make her his acquainted. She grew emotions for the blonde for his kindness and fights to guard the ones he cares. The blue and crimson dragon's feelings grown to the point that they commenced a dating. Fenrir has grayish-blue fur and had large yellow horns coming out of his shoulders. He can stand about 10 meters tall, but now is the size of an everyday wolf and become now napping at the couch like a canine might. Naruto had fought the god-devouring wolf in the course of the war towards Loki and saw something in the wolf. He noticed now not a mindless creature to the most effective kill, but a being that has a will to live. The blonde-haired youngster allowed his exceptional pals/rivals team, Valley Crew, to take the wolf earlier than he promised the wolf that he'll free and supply him freedom in the future. Later he did, and the wolf changed into glad to have a new grasp that changed into kind to him. Naruto's magician P.C. become with Le Fay Pendragon, a witch who is a descendant of Morgan Le Fay, as well as the legendary King Arthur, and the younger sister of Arthur Pendragon. She is an adorable, foreign lady with a slim frame, shoulder-length blonde hair and blue eyes. She wears a sorceress-like get dressed with a massive blue hat with a black bow and yellow stars and matching cape with pink flora and a white interior. Naruto had met Le Fay all through the struggle in Kyoto towards the hero faction, and he or she stored him from falling into the river. They met a pair greater instances, and later she and Kuroka moved into his residence to live in for some time. The black-haired Nico desired the blonde to make the witch as his magician, however couldn't because of their past paintings with the Chaos Brigade. Later, the Red Dragon Emperor received pardons for Vala and his team when the DXD group turned into fashioned, and the witch became his gotten smaller magician to her happiness. She develops emotions for the blonde-haired teenager, and that they later began a relationship. While having peerage of devils, there are different beings that live with them and are Naruto's girlfriends. However, are busy with some matters and won't be right here in the morning. However, they will display up later inside the day to the blonde's happiness. As the two businesses of devils enjoyed their breakfast, and had a few talks approximately what their day became going to be, Naruto do have a few jobs? Rias asked, meaning the devil's jobs. Naruto shook his head and stated, nope. I position my peerage and my jobs on preserve for the reason that these days is Saturday, and want to spend time with my women for the day. Rias-chan, this got the women attention and wonder what their boyfriend has in mind, while Fenrir, Yuto, and Gasper marvel what their buddy has in mind for his women. It may be something, but only will ought to see it for themselves. I see, and who may be going along with your first, Naruto? Rias requested as she leans directly to her boyfriend's proper facet. Earlier than Naruto should replied, Akino had leaned as much as her boyfriend's left side. It is me, Naruto-kun? Akino asked at the same time as rubbing her cheeks in opposition to her boyfriend's. This got Rias to disappointed and glared at her pal/queen as she began to hold Naruto near her by means of putting his right arm in between her breasts. This brought on the blonde-haired youngster to blush a bit, and soon deepened when Akino did the equal for his left arm with glare of her own in the direction of her king. Sparks fly out of the two girls' eyes as they glared at different, and whilst the others looking sighed deeply at this. While they will be buddies, perhaps sisters even, they every now and then will fight for the blonde's desire. It was now not new to anybody and will stop quickly. Sufficient, Rias-chan, Akino-chan, Naruto called out, getting the two to forestall, preventing and pay attention to him. Rias and Akino stopped their obtrusive and concentrate for their boyfriend has to say whilst not letting him pass. Rias-chan will cross first, then Akino-chan is subsequent, and after that the other ladies can select who goes subsequent. How does that sound? Naruto asked with a smirk developing on his face, and had were given the two ladies to assume. Satisfactory, Naruto. However, wherein are we going to go? Rias asked, questioning what her boyfriend has in thoughts. Naruto grinned as he located his right together with his pointer finger on his lips and stated, it's a mystery, no spoilers, my crimson rose, not even for me, Naruto-kun? Akino asked as she rubbed her cheeks against her boyfriend's. Nope, Akino-chan, you want to wait, Naruto answered with a smile on his face. Akino pouted a touch but smiled when the blonde-haired teenager rubbed her legs and brought on her to grin. Rias smiled as she changed into being rubbing by means of the legs, and both ladies have been taking part in themselves. The two ladies enjoyed the moment, and look forward to what their boyfriend has in thoughts. The other women wished the identical, however, had been on the other facet of the desk to haven't any hugs or being up near their boyfriend. They remember the fact that their boyfriend will deliver them love. He constantly spends times with his ladies and puts his very own desires aside for others. Then all unexpected Naruto's eyes snapped in the direction of the clock and simply remembered something critical. Hiya. Yuto, do you have to choose up Tsubaki around 11:00 a.m. for a film? Naruto requested, inflicting his friend to have a look at the clock. Yuto saw the time turned into 9 a.m. and had some time. But it by no means hurts to be prepared. Yes, I do. Thanks for taking me back to the fact, Naruto. I must get ready. Yuto reposed as he got up from his seat to position his dishes away. Tsubaki Shinra is the queen piece of Sona Citri and has been courting the blonde-haired knight for some time now. Naruto had were given them collectively whilst he became hanging out with Akino and started out to be a double date. But of their phrases just pals placing out. The rest ended up with the queen and knight going out on some dates as friends and perhaps see where it comes. But a few can inform in which it had come to be in. Oh, it is right. Yuto and which are going to your and Tsubaki date? Asia asked, thinking what her buddy has in thoughts for a date. Yuto thought for a second and said, Tsubaki has been questioning on watching the new film name, Frozen, for some purpose, and I heard it become correct film to observe from lovers. It is a great move to watch. Naruto-kun had taken me, Ravel, Asia, and Lafay to that film Ultimate Week. You and Tsubaki will enjoy the film, Kaneko said as she ate more chocolate chip pancakes and had some chocolate on her face. Kuroka giggled at her little sister as she used a serviette to ease her cheeks. The white-haired Nico allowed that earlier than going back for extra pancakes. Ravel, Asia, and Lafay nodded their heads in settlement. Remembering the movie they watched final week with the blonde-haired youngster, Naruto chucked a bit and stated, yes, it became a remarkable film to look at. You and Tsubaki may have a great time. Thank you, Naruto, and I can have an exquisite time with Tsubaki. I wish the equal to you as properly, Yuto said with a smile on his face and bowed a bit together with his head earlier than going to his room to get ready. Naruto smiled at his friend and needed him to good fortune in his date for the night. He will also be occurring a few dates as properly and become excellent with that. He in no way concept on having a harem. But he loved his ladies and they loved him for who's he. He changed into luckily and will stay fortunately for his date with his pink rose for part of the morning earlier than Priestess of Thunder, and the alternative ladies for the night. While today may have reminded him of beyond, he's going to pass on from that and revel in his life to fullest because the Crimson Dragon Emperor. Underscore 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 unnamed location. So this is where the brat may additionally his getaway. What shit region, it does not matter, he's going to come know what he says. A white-haired old pervert Fagaza walked out of the woods with some ninja behind for their goal. We quickly see our favorite couple, Naruto and Rias, walking around the Ko City purchasing place with a grin on their faces as they held each different's arms with care and interlocking their fingers together. The blonde-haired teen wears an orange-black jacket, crimson blouse, blue jeans, and white spot footwear. The pink-haired woman wears a red shirt that hugged her body parent, blue jeans, and dress shoes for women. The two devils had been very happy to experience their moment together, and saved their walk around Metropolis for a few things for house or themselves. Then all of the sudden a yellow blur dashed beyond the streets and in the direction of the couple, getting their interest to examine the blur before noticing who become coming at them. Earlier than Naruto, or Rias should say aspect, the blonde-haired youngster turned into soon jumped with the aid of the blur and soon hugged into the ground by way of a touch woman. This infant become Kuno, a nine-tailed fox who's the daughter of Yasaka and step of Naruto. She has golden, blonde hair tied in a ponytail and matching eyes. If she turned into in a yokai region or a person who's a devil which could see that she has 9 golden fox tails and matching ears, Naruto hugged his foster daughter and said, "Kuno-chan, you leave out me." "Sure, I did too, san. Ka-san promised that we will visit you and perhaps greater in." Kuno replied fortunately as she hugged her father discerned towards her. Naruto patted his daughter's head as he stood up on his feet with Kuno in his arms and smiled to see her again. Rias smiled at the scene between them and was little jealous. She continually wanted to have a child with the person she loves like the different ladies. However they may be still in university or most in high faculty, the blonde-haired youngster was so fantastic with children and won goals of having his circle of relatives. But no longer now and maybe someday later, no one to hurry, they have got time. However, transferring on, Naruto, Rias, and Kuno quickly saw someone that become running towards them and smiled at who changed into coming in the direction of them. This lady become the mom of Kuno and any other female friend of Naruto, Yasaka. She is a younger woman with a voluptuous figure, and very lengthy blonde hair with matching eyes. She is a girl with delicate facial features and her eyebrows are cut very brief and spherical, a symbol of nobility. Her hair is tied in a loose ponytail, reaching all the way down to her legs that end in a spiral, with taut bandages to keep it in area. She wears a yellow kimono, a golden obi, and wore a black pelt, with gold skulls and lines printed on it. The kimono capabilities a white indoors and it is open at her shoulders, giving view to her surprisingly huge breasts. Naruto, Rias, and the others meet the two foxes for the duration of their college ride to Kyoto to discover matters in problem with the hero faction. In the beginning, Kuno concept that the devils and their friends had taken her mother but turned into wrong and stated her apologies at the same time as requesting help to discover her mother. Being a type-hearted guy, Naruto vowed to help her and fought to save her mother. He did and got mom and daughter to be collectively again, while the use of solving the damages to the factor that allowed Yasaka to no longer stay at Kyoto, and be unfastened like to wander outdoor of her home if she wishes. At some point of new 12 months, Naruto meets Yasaka and Kuno even as enjoying his new years. They talk to every other and spend time together as a family could, to the factor that the little lady even referred to as the blonde-haired youngster father. He smiled and became glad to be a father discerned for Kuno. Later the fox and dragon grew emotions for every different. Now we are updated. Let's get lower back to the story. Kuno, please live by means of me subsequent time. I recognize you are glad to see Naruto once more. However, allows no longer get your kimono grimy, or yourself for nowadays. Yasaka said as she in the end made to the organization and saw her daughter in the blonde's hands, could not help it. Ka-san, I just desired to look to san for so long and maybe move in. Kuno said with a fake pout, however changed while Naruto started left up inside the air and positioned on his shoulders, causing her to snigger and smiled fortuitously. I know you leave out me Kuno-chan, however pay attention in your mother, okay? You may have time to spend time with me and your mother, Naruto stated with a smile on his face as he saved his foster daughter on his shoulders. Okay too-san. Kuno agreed as she hugged her father's head at the same time as sniffing his hair and loved his kind heady scent of a father would have. Yasaka smiled at this scene and stated, Oh, Naruto and I appear to encounter Irina and she or he advised that she may be coming home very quickly. Irina-chan is already done? Idea she may not be until a few more days. However, it really is first rate and might be extremely good to see her again, Naruto stated, being taken again and was satisfied while preserving the satisfied fox on his shoulders. Yep, and may be at the house, she says. I see which you and Rias are enjoying today. Do you thoughts if Kuno tags alongside, Naruto? Yasaka asked, knowing that she wishes something for herself and daughter to live here in Ko. Rias changed into a touch upset and towards the idea. When you consider that they were on a date, and just ran as much as the two foxes. However, she stopped whilst Naruto checked out with a warm smile that says, it will be okay. She sighed with a grin on face while she can be towards it, however was first rate with and they could use more. I see no harm in that. If Naruto says it's quality, then allow move. We've few extra stops to make before going back domestic. I think there are a few locations down the street that can help you along with your dwelling area, Yasaka. Rias provided as she held Naruto's proper hand earlier than interlocking the palms all over again. Yep. It'll amusing in that I recognize playground in which I'm able to take Kuno-chan to play at while you women look around, Naruto said with a smile even as having his foster daughter screaming fortunately to play at a playground. Thanks, Rias, Naruto. Yasaka said with a heat smile as she took her boyfriend's left hand and started out to stroll closer to the purchasing location. As the happy group walks towards the buying to save and allow little female play at the playgrounds together with her father, a person was looking them and become coronary heart taken now. A couple of red ruby eyes watched the complete scene between Naruto and three ladies. Inflicting a smile to form upon her face, she concealed within the shadows looking the organization performed and shop like a normal own family would do and brought on her to be glad for her little brother. Whilst she won't be speaking to him, not but at least, she prayed and was hoping that she will be able to. That was her promise. That turned into Kurenai promise to her little brother, as she disappeared in a cloud of smoke and returned to base camp alone, no longer understanding that the institution noticed her at that second. Naruto, did you saw that ninja? Rias asked together with her eyes narrowed, understanding what she noticed, and who the ninja might be. I did, Rias-chan. I cannot inform who it became. But I've feeling that we are going to have a few unwanted visitor, Naruto answered along with his eyes narrowed. Yasaka were given Kuno in her palms as her daughter hugged her, being secure in her mother's palms and recognized what her father figure had visible. So much for a family moment. Must we head domestic now, Naruto? Yasaka requested as she held her daughter close to her and Kuno wrapped her arms round her mother's neck to be safe. All women from Naruto's harem all realize approximately their boyfriends beyond and what difficulty he went via. Kuno won't realize, however she could tell that bad people had harmed her father whilst he was younger and became upset about that. The blonde-haired teenager became the caring and kindness man or woman round whilst he may additionally train and fight. However he nonetheless had a kind coronary heart for others than himself. Sure, I've feeling that today goes to be long and headache afterward. Naruto responded with a sigh, leaving his lips and understand what turned into beforehand. Rias and Yasaka nodded their head, know how what turned into coming and will be there for the person they love. The fox ruler was now not going to have her daughter on this miss, and could position her in a room till the whole thing become executed. After checking if no humans have been round or saw them from afar, the crimson-haired heiress used a red magic circle to teleport them return to the residence, and be equipped for the undesirable guest. Inside a pink flash of magic electricity, the institution changed into lower back at the house and amazed the ones that were nonetheless there. Naruto desired to spend time with his girls today. However, it seems he's going to must position it on hold for now and could make it as much as them. The ones that have been within the residence have been Akino, Graphia, Kuroka, Kaneko, Ravel, Rosweiss, Zenobia, Tiamat, and Fenrir. They have been taken back on how the blonde-haired teen became lower back with Yasaka and Kuno. They figure she and her daughter will come. however no longer this quickly and have a sense that something become up. Naruto-kun, what is happening? Why are you early? Akino asked, speaking for anyone in surprise. Before Naruto should communicate, all of the unexpected wolf-like glow was heard and were given all people's attention to study Fenrir. He started to glow with an angry appearance on his face, and narrowed his eyes angrily from scenting a few shitheads outdoor of the house. The devils, dragon, and fox started out to heady scent Churka all of the sudden and narrowed their eyes on the door, understanding who turned into right here and what become coming toward them. Where are the others? Naruto requested, ensuring where was everybody before he faces his beyond and no longer brought on a few unwanted harm to a person. They may be going out shopping for some clothes, food, and exacta, Naruto-kun. I think they may again in the next hour or so, Grafia reviled as she got herself ready in case matters get of hand. Raswise sighed, knowing what become coming subsequent, and said, I'm able to area the barrier when the undesirable visitor suggests up, Naruto-kun. Higher safe and sorry, accurate. I as an alternative no longer have them or all people right here now, Naruto said whilst final his eyes for a moment before opening them again and equipped scenes who was here at the door of his residence. It's them, right? The ninjas from the Leaf Village you instructed us about? Yasaka requested as she held her daughter even safer in her hands. Naruto nodded his head and replied and stated, yes, and please take Kuno-chan upstairs to a visitor room, Yasaka-chan. Yasaka nodded her head in knowledge and walked upstairs together with her daughter in arms. Naruto failed to need the fools to know about his foster daughter. There was no telling what's going to happen in the event that they discover, and he will ensure they will never contact her. Fenrir turned into about to stroll towards the door and scared the shit of the undesirable visitor but became held back by Tiamat who shook her head and said, we are able to wait for whilst it's time, Fenrir. Naruto-kun needs to face beyond first earlier than we display them how weak they're first, and then make them pay with their errors. The wolf nodded his head, but nonetheless narrowed his eyes and glowed on the door. Naruto walked closer to his wolf familiar and commenced to pat him on the head, having him loosen up first, smooth. Naruto spoke within a commanding tone of voice and brought on Fenrir to stand down till orders instructed him otherwise. Grafia walked towards the door and waited for her king to inform her to open the door for their so-known as guests. Fenrir walked slower back to the sofa to put down and closed his eyes, playing asleep even as hiding a smirk on his lips and could watch for his master to order him to assault. Naruto took his seat on the main sofa with Rias and Akino via his side to help him loosen up and be at his facet no matter what. Ravel commenced to get a few tea and snacks out for the guest. The night she does not need to and well whilst spitting in the beverages for the ninjas with no person become looking. Zenobia, Kuroka and Kaneko sat down on a settee that become across their boyfriends. Tiamat and Raswise seat subsequent to the wolf to keep him in line whilst both were given prepared in case things move incorrect. It changed into time for the blonde-haired teen to face a part of his beyond. However, he won't be alone and will face it with the human beings he loves. Quickly enough the maid commenced to open to reveal who was here and what ninjas that had been in the group. Causing the blonde-haired teen to narrow his eyes a little, the organization had the general public that hated him, being Jiraiya, Kakashi, Asuma, Sasuke, Sakura, Hinata, Kiba, Lee, Naruto, and Menma, while having ones that haven't hurt the blonde-haired teenager in any way are Tenten and Ino. All of the ninjas had been taken back at their banished ninja and women that had been with him. Naruto could inform that 3 years has exceeded for them in their international, while 6 years handed for him. It looks as if that time become distinctive from worlds and had a feeling that matters are becoming bad lower back in the village if Leaf shipped ninjas to get him. He wonders why and had feeling he's going to discover Jiraiya, Kakashi, and Asuma have been giggling just like the perverts there and now not noticing that they may be having stupid appearance on their face that announces, perverts here and I'm silly. They'd plans on taking the blonde again to the village anything he likes or not before passing him apart like the demon he changed into. However, position those thoughts aside for the village's sake. Sasuke glared at the fool for beating the last time they met even as having a lust in his eyes for the women that are around him. Considering breaking the blonde aside before fucking the whores in front of him. Sakura glared at the purple-haired lady for her beauty and massive breasts at the same time as daydreaming on beating them and planned on seducing the once blonde-haired fool then sell off him like a toy earlier than going after her crash like the fangirl she was. Hinata additionally glared on the girls that took her lover and plaything, while now not understanding that women should see that, She planned on beating the holes to demise before taking her plaything and fuck like demon he is. Kiba also giggled like pervert with a canine-like look on his face while planning on taking the ladies for himself to reveal who's the alpha, and glared on the Nikos for smelling like cats. All of the surprising. Lee just narrowed his eyes on the blonde-haired youngster, and no longer worrying that he as soon as helped him to heal his legs. He planned on beating the demon after he was doing supporting the village. Naruto and Menma had nothing however hate for his or her disowned brother, and want to kill him for giving their home village a hard time. For the reason that he left, Ino had grown out of her fangirl and changed into no longer glad with a number of former friends brought on damage to the blonde-haired teen. She had grown to care for Naruto but held it back and waited a few extra years to see wherein it is going. Tenten additionally grown to care for Naruto, and wonders if he became glad along with his new lifestyles. She will be able to tell he was satisfied with the girls in his lifestyles and wonder what their dating they may be in. What do you need, Leaf Ninjas? Naruto requested with glare that prompted the two white-haired perverts to stop their moment and get to paintings. Jiraiya changed into taken lower back at the glare, which prompted him to have sit back in his backbone and sweat to appear on his brow. He concept that Naruto will still the lovable and used to control idiot, however modified by means of looking into his special color of eyes, and saw no longer the lovable ninja anymore. He saw a beast that hated them. But he prayed he can modify that. Now Naruto, this is no way to talk for your godfather, Jiraiya stated as he wrapped the sweat off his brow. I think the ultimate time I checked, I have no godfather, and also you aren't him. Pervert. Now I can like to recognize the way you locate me, and why are you here? Also prevent searching at my women like a piece of meat. Naruto reposed with metal in his voice at the same time as sending an effective glare towards Kakashi, Kiba, and Sasuke. The scarecrow and canine stopped. However, Duck-ass did not, and saved his lustful glare at Rias and Tiamat. The red-haired and blue-haired women narrowed their eyes on the black-haired pervert for nearly killing the person they love and one of the important parts for his pain. Sakura saw this and glared at them for looking to take her. Sasuke, however, did not observe that the blonde-haired youngster noticed this and become near on beating the purple-haired complain into subsequent weak if his women don't it. Graphia confirmed no emotions on her face, but her eyes have been narrowed to the point it confirmed hate and desire to freeze one the ninjas for causing harm onto the person she cherished. Akino changed into in the equal boat and glared at Hinata for what she had accomplished to the person she loathed, even as searching ahead on the usage of some sadist assaults. Rossweiss narrowed her eyes at the smoker and noticed that he become pervert/cheater that need to be installed his location like the scum he is. Ravel narrowed her eyes at Ino with ideas on burning her. Zenobia glared at Tenten and wanted to check her terrible swordswoman abilities before slicing Lee legs off for beating and announcing harsh things to the person she cherished. Kuroka and Kaneko narrowed their eyes at Kiba for searching at them like he became the alpha and they certain be his whores. But that become not going to paintings and were near on attacking the dog at any second. Now let's pass on. Now Naruto, this is no way to talk to your fellow ninjas, Kakashi remarked. But let a ladylike yelp when the Gremry heiress glared at him, given that while you noticed Narukun as a fellow ninja, remaining time I take a look at you banished him for completing a task, Rias said together with her eyes narrowed at white-haired pervert, and he sponsored down. Fenrir smirked at that whilst Tiamat smiled on vulnerable the ninjas and patted the wolf to have his tail wagged in contentment. What's up, complain live out of this? This is among the dobe and that I. So, stay out of noble affairs like a terrific whinge earlier than I wreck him, Sasuke said with an conceited smirk on his face. Yeah, massive-breasted bitch. Nobles have the call round. Now be a like precise whinge and bow down earlier than us. Menma commented together with his own boastful smirk with her sister nodded with her. This prompted the purple-haired devil to unleash a few part of her power onto the three Sona nobles, and she or he now not the best one, the alternative women did the equal and precipitated them to sweat very tough on what strength they felt. This would have passed on more. However, Naruto stopped them and let them communicate for now. This is, you three do not need to be called nobles and don't deliver me the crap which you're all this and all that. What you are not anything more than low-lived pheasants. And I concept my brother, Riser, became a larger jackass back then. But I take that lower back because you three are man or greater larger jackasses than him. Ravel stated with glare and had some flames sparking out her palms in anger. I agree with the fireplace chicken on all debts, Kaneko commented, which gained the phoenix to be taken again. Ravel had surprised look on her face on being known as a hearth hen and no longer Kentucky Buddy Chicken, for as soon as birds and cats do not get alongside, however will for the boyfriend's sake, and why ought we pay attention to a few blonde-haired whinge and a flat-chested toddler? Kiba barked with a prideful smirk on his face. Certain, Ravel turned into mad at the comment, but Kaneko was even more mad with trick mark on her head and had her older sister to held her returned and had appearance that asserts, wait and then beat the mutt in which it hurts. Be careful what you say subsequent, leaf ninjas. You are walking on thin ice now and haven't solutioned my questions, why you're here, how you observed me, and what do you need? Naruto asked together with his narrowed on the white-haired pervert for answers whilst having the concept he already realized but prayed that he become incorrect. Jiraiya should inform that Naruto was not playing around and sweated even more for this alteration from the once lovable ninja to this cold-hearted man that desires to kill him. He also can tell that the blonde and ladies are not ordinary while starting to word that they have got no churka, making the old pervert worried all of the surprising and started out to answer the questions. We find you by following the travel of your tailed beast Churka to the Uzumaki domestic village, and use the jutsu to be teleported on this rotten place with small coats. And our mission is to deliver your back domestic, Naruto, Jiraiya answered eventually, getting Naruto and his girls to slender their eyes a touch. What home? You imply that shit area of a village that needs me useless for all they care. Final time I test I used to be banished, and maybe kill on website if I step back into that hellhole of a village. Naruto informed along with his eyes narrowed and became close on hanging but turned into loosen up when Rias and Akino held his arms. Naruto loosened up and began to surprise what coats the ninjas used to get right here in this international. However, he had a feeling he's going to find out quickly enough. Naruto, the council has lifted your banishment to be voided, and that means you could emerge as Hokage in case you combat for the leaf once again, Kakashi said with I smiled and hoped that the blonde will take the bait. The scarecrow might as an alternative see the demon be killed then end up Hokage, but he'll put that apart, and use a dream to get the blonde on their facet over again. However, he become incorrect, and something greatly surprised him and different ninjas. No scarecrow. I may not fight for some shithole of a village that cannot maintain their matters together nor will be your weapon. And I can't due to the fact I am now not the holder of the nine-tailed fox. That means that I am loose and not your weapon anymore, Naruto commented with a smirk and caused the ninjas to be taken of the news. Many leaf ninjas had been having blend feelings proper now and this shocked information crashed them to the middle. Naruto was no longer the holder of the nine tails and this news have crashed their plans on taking him again. The blonde, his girlfriends and Wolf smiled at the ninja's misfortune and will inform that one of them was going to do something silly, as if one clue. One among them rushed closer to the blonde-haired youngster and grabbed him through his shirt, being the scarecrow himself, and glared very irritated at blonde in front. Pay attention me to you demon scum. You're the leaf's weapon and will close the hell up. Now unload the whores and be our weapon. Kakashi yelled with anger in his voice and had lost his thoughts at that moment. Before Jiraiya should do or say something take place that made him and each ninja fall onto their knees all the unexpected. They couldn't breathe, sweated very tough from their foreheads, and their bodies shakes like loopy. The motive for this sudden ache was the devils. Dragon and Wolf have unleashed their charisma and become met for killing, having their eyes narrow to glare and had specific type of aura around them. Naruto become purple draconic air of secrecy, and his eyes shine brighter, giving a greater dragon appearance to his appearances. Rias changed into red and black demonic aura that quickly became a draconic charisma. Akino became yellow holy and pink demonic aura with lightning magic sparking out of her eyes and palms at the same time as turning into draconic air of secrecy. Graphia became silver and blue demonic air of secrecy with bloodless feeling into air that made the ninjas have the chills. Zenobia became yellow holy with a few demonic in her air of mystery and changed into neon summoning considered one of her holy swords. Kuroka changed into red with flames in her aura and commenced to have her cat appearances appeared. Kaneko turned into blue with flames in her eye and began to have her cat appearances regarded. Ravel become flames and orange demonic air of mystery even as having winds surrounding the region to make it difficult for the fools to breathe any easy air. Tiamat turned into natural blue draconic that took the pointy of her dragon shape and growled on the ninjas, making them even more sacred. Rias had white and blue demonic Norse air of mystery while having the barrier up all of the sudden to trap the fools and save the others out for what's going to appear subsequent. Fenrir had no air of mystery, but his size developed twicer and confirmed his fangs to the ninjas. This caused Menma and Naruto passed out with wet mark on their bodies, and from the charisma they felt, earlier than the ninjas may want to say something. Naruto started out to whistle with a grin on his face and triggered Fenrir to attack one of the ninjas, being the scarecrow in the front of him. The wolf attacked the white-haired ninja and pushed him into the ground while having his claws into his shoulders and caused him to grunt through his tooth in pain. This triggered the ninjas to attack the devils and dragon to assist their fellow ninja and were in for beat down in their lives. Naruto and his ladies have been equipped to face the weaklings and no issues in dealing with a few fools. The fight turned into over earlier than it even started. Naruto versus Sasuke, your mind dog. Sasuke shouted out in fury and with anger in his crimson eyes as he dashed ahead with lightning dancing around his right arm and thrusted it ahead closer to Blonde's coronary heart. Sasuke smirked like a madman as he became near the heart, making plans on killing the blonde before breaking ladies to his will and cause them to his whores, but he did not see a brand new hazard that changed into coming towards him and became huge open. Naruto narrowed his eyes and summoned his sacred gear to come forth onto his right arm. Being a crimson dragon-like arm with green orbs in middle and aspects with golden spikes, he then gathers up his magic and draconic air of mystery for his very own attack. Boost, a voice become heard because the crimson spinning sphere of magic and fashioned in the blonde's dragon hand whilst at the identical time having his electricity and power boosted up. Quickly the black-haired Uchiha was in rang and thrusted at the heart with one-hit lightning flow. But Naruto moved to the facet and used his left hand to break the assault arm whilst inflicting the lightning to break apart all of the surprising. Inflicting the fool screamed in ache before being attacked again in the chest. Naruto had thrusted ahead together with his proper arm and unleashed a strength crimson sphere of electricity toward the fool in front of him. Dragon shot Rasengan. Naruto called out at the same time as launching a power pink sphere of electricity into Sasuke's chest and released the idiot throughout the room to only landed with a thud onto the ground. Sasuke screamed in pain on having all his ribs damaged apart and blood drip out of his mouth. Naruto quickly walked in the direction of the black-haired Uchiha and smirked at the weakly in front of him. Return then I once you noticed as shit, Sasuke. Now you are nothing however dogs hit, and a child that needs energy all to himself whilst he can't get it. Naruto commented earlier than taking a knee all the way down to the fool and commenced to work his magic. Then an idea came to the blonde to where he could have the village that made his lifestyles a residing hell pay for his or her crimes with the aid of destroying their so-called loyal ninja energy eyes. Dragi, can we use Flash and Gihen to interrupt his eyes? Naruto asked with a smirk on his face that precipitated the Uchiha to widen his eyes earlier than obtrusive at the blonde. Naruto narrowed his eyes earlier than bitch slapping Sasuke into the ground with grunt in pain and looked at his right with inexperienced orb sparkling. Could work Naruto and might break the pride of this so-called noble down. Drake stated inside the orb with a chuckled following in the back of Naruto smiled as he put his right hand out in the front of Sasuke's face and opened to show a green light of power. Flash, then. All the surprising a large green light of power shot outwards towards Sasuke's face and prompted him to go blind as a bat. He screamed in ache and started out to rub his eyes to get his sight back, however failed and shortly felt a hand on his forehead. Being the blonde's hand as it became blanketed in blue magic lines for every other trick. Gihen. Naruto chatted as his entire left hand shouts a strength bolt of blue lightning toward the eyes of the Uchiha and brought on him to scream in big ache. Naruto had destroyed the eyes of Sasuke Uchiha and broke his chakra pathways to the point it is able to best use one jutsu before passing out, having it enough on taking note of the duck ass. The blonde took his proper hand and punched the Uchiha out in one hit to close him up. The black-haired fool become out for the count with groan leaving his month as he pasted out from the ache. Naruto stood up from his need function and seemed returned on the women, on the grounds that they were almost achieved, and smiled on how easy it will be to take the ninjas down without a hassle. Rias versus Sakura. Sakura is dealing with down Rias. However, she isn't always being attentive to her greater, she is looking at her massive chest. It turned into the size of Tsunade. However, it had a younger feeling to it. She growled at the sight of her large tits whilst she had not anything extra than a B cup at high quality. You big-breasted whore. I knew Naruto was stupid. However, I did not assume he'd be dumb sufficient to fall for a stupid cow such as you. I haven't any doubt you are after my Sasuke-kun, Sakura yelled like a banshee. Rias frowned on the purple-haired complaint and stated, I may want to care much less approximately this Sasuke fool, he isn't always my type. Secondly, you're simply jealous I'm natural splendor and you're now not. I will inform you are busier along with your look than turning into an actual girl in heart, thoughts, and body. The red-haired beauty puffs her chest out making it jiggle, getting a chuckle from perverts who had been slammed into the ground via Naruto, or the women for staring at the grimy heiress, Shinaro. Sakura yelled as she slowly ran at Rias to prove herself more potent than her, and display her love and affection to Sasuke. So they made the train of idea ended with Rias smacking the red-haired banshee with a winged slap, sending her flying throughout the room and slamming into the wall with a thud. The pink-haired woman had a sweat drop from this woe, and I notion maximum of the girls in Riser's peerage have been vulnerable. But this is simply unhappy, Rias commented as she turns from her and ducks beneath another pitiful attack from a recuperating Sakura, and without which means that she hits her with the return of her head. Rias failed to sense the pain but grew to become to see she had knocked the lady out with sigh leaving her lips and stated, what a waste of a lady, just a spoiled little brat, at least I grew up a few over the last few years. The red-haired splendor turned to join the others in combating off the unwanted visitor at the same time as leaving the fangirl out cold, wondering she won the combat in her dreams and is marrying Sasuke no longer. Knowing he wasn't listening to her, and Ino shakes her head in shame of her former friend whilst being no better than herself, while she were given slapped and blasted with fire by Ravel. Being a brief and smooth fit for the Phoenix Lady to the factor, she smiled in victory, and with satisfaction of herself. Was Zenobia okay? I can beat you demon whore and that fox demon with the flames of adolescence, Lee yelled out as he dashed ahead closer to the blue-haired Satan Knight. Tenten's sweat delivered to her former teammate, and shook her head in dissatisfied whilst she cares about her teammates. But it modified after Naruto was banished from the Leaf Village and by no means looked at her teammates the equal again. She will be able to paintings alongside facet them, but never forgive them and will focus at the assignment no matter if she likes or no longer. Zenobia narrowed her eyes because the inexperienced ninja dashed closer to him, and no longer noticed what she commenced to summon. A yellow magic circle seemed earlier than her, and she grabbed one in every of her holy swords, being Durandal, and swung her sword closer to the foolish ninja that changed into strolling toward her. Lee planned on killing the blue-haired knight together with his flames of youth, however, did not see the sword coming toward his legs and was huge open. Within a flash, the green ninja started out to scream all the unexpected as his legs have been reduced off and bleed everywhere in the floor. He groans in ache as he falls onto the floor whilst looking at his legs in horror. His life as a ninja became off when just a second and had no concept the way it passed off. It aways now. Naruto-kun requested his mom to heal your legs after a bloody fit, and you spied at his face in return. I suppose it's far to lose your legs and never harm my man once more, Zenobia stated with a grin forming up on her face and turned her interest toward the weapon's mistress. Tenten started to shake from the blue-haired knight velocity and power to use a sword and almost drool from seeing Durandal. She changed into involved for her former teammate and marvel how she became going to over the knight's speed. However, but she started out to experience lightheaded and slowly passes out from being hit from the again of her head. Sorry Tenten, however this was the most effective manner, Naruto said as he watched the weapon mistress fall on the ground. I may want to have deal with her, Naruto-kun, Zenobia stated as she positioned her sword on her shoulders to rest for some time. I now, however she, Ino, and a few others didn't cause any pain in the direction of me, Zenobia-chan. Naruto responded earlier than looking at the alternative girls and noticed that they had been prevailing. Ought to we assist the others? Zenobia asked but had a sense that her harem sisters can cope with themselves towards a few weak ninjas. No, but I assume the scarecrow should earn some pain. Great now not to leave him out of this after the fools are performed, Naruto replied with a smile on his face at the same time as thinking thoughts to interrupt white-haired pervert. Zenobia smirked at that, and said I've a few ideas too, Naruto-kun, may want to I be part of you? Positive, Naruto stated with a nod from his head even as on foot in the direction of where the wolf held the pervert down. As this was going and the alternative women were almost approximately executed, the susceptible ninjas, Grafia versus Jiraiya. This wasn't a great deal of fight for the reason that Jiraiya become idiot and looked at the maid like the pervert he turned into with lust in his eyes, making silver-haired fundamental experience unease and upset at Toad Fool. Hello miss, I'm hoping you had your laugh with the brat, because it going to be your last, Jiraiya said with a smirk, making plans on having a few amusing with the maid before using a thoughts alter jutsu on her and the demon brat. Grafia narrowed her eyes on the pervert, knowing what become planning and thinking, making her ill and seemed ahead on breaking the pervert apart. Why is that? Grafia requested, even as having her air of mystery sharpen, being equipped to apply. I don't need to tell a bitch like earlier than I fuck you want the broken toy you becomes. Jiraiya commented with lustful smile on his face and began to get geared up to his justice. The vintage pervert guy planned on using a seal to modify Naruto's mind and have his women married men that to hold the brat happy. The silver-haired foremost glared at the pervert and changed into not going to be used in some pervert recreation. She turned into crossed and was now not going to maintain returned. Grafia summoned a blue magic circle earlier than her, as she launched an effective spell of ice-based magic. The ice magic shouts on the pervert and casted him right into a block of ice, being frozen internal out at the same time as having a pervert appearance on his face. The pervert had a view on the breast and turned into happy to look that earlier than he freezes out. This made the silver-haired maid eyes narrowed and snapped her hands to reason some inner pain to the pervert. The ice cracked inside the middle from the face in the direction of the family jewels, making the vintage screamed in ache for having his vicinity breaking aside and began to bleed all over his body. He might be lucky if he lives a few extra years if not months with the ache he won from the most powerful queen. Grafia sighed as she rubbed her brow with her right hand and become a little uneasy with the whole lot. She knows from the begin that Naruto might now not help the village that beat him into being their weapon and a fight will take vicinity. The silver-haired maid had a feeling that she and other ladies will want to assist tonight whilst the whole lot changed into said and executed with the fools, Kuroka and Kaneko versus Kiba. Don't why that fool need. You two whores, a big-breasted whinge that has no disgrace in what clothing she wears and a few stupid flat-chest child to a fox demon. I wager he is weak and can't supply bitches what a actual alpha. Kiba commented with a prideful smirk on his face and had some thoughts to interrupt the Nikos in front of him. However, that failed and one of the Nikos changed into very indignant. Both were mad. But the white-haired Nico became madder than her older sister. Kaneko dashed ahead in the direction of Kiba and began to unleash a hailstorm of punches toward the mutt's frame and damaged many bones in his frame before punching him in the family jewels, causing to let loose a girl-like scream like the complain and beta dog he became. Kuroka walked over closer to the bloody mutt with a smirk on her face and stated, Naya, well completed Chiron, your senjutsu is getting higher, thank you, Wani-chan. Kaneko replied after calming down and punching the pervert dog with a blue flame punch into the gut, and caused Kiba to cough out blood out his mouth. Oh my, that have to have hurt mutt Naya, Kuroka said with a smirk at the same time as giggling at the pain. Fuck you. You massive-breasted and flat infant bitches. Kiba cursed out through ache earlier than being punched in jaw through the whited-haired Nico and broke his tooth. Kuroka frowned earlier than the use of her hands to solid a magic smash inside the air and launched a pink fireball at the mutt's circle of relatives' jewels, causing Kiba screamed loud as hell to the point he blacked in pain and bleed everywhere in the ground. I was going to have Chiron use you as a punching bag, but with that comment I exchanged my mind and wish you locate someone that can the repair aspect that makes you guy, Kuroka stated before turning round and had Kaneko walked along with her towards the others. Rias versus Asuma. Why do I need combat you while I'm able to a few drink and show a first-rate time? Asuma requested with lust in his eyes and smirk on his face. No thanks, and from what I've been from Naruto-kun, you cheated on your first lady to a few whores and have become low scum of a person, Rias stated along with her eyes narrowed and crossed her hands on her chest, making her breast come to be bigger and were given the pervert to giggled. Asuma had stupid pervert appearance on his face, and started to devise on taking the white-haired rook for himself. He deliberated on taking her again to the Leaf Village and rub her to his ex-lady then ruin them each. Rias saw this and was not going to preserve returned at the cheater. Asuma had no good fortune in beating the rook of Naruto, and dashed in the direction of the rook to trap her off guard but failed and turned into bitch slapped inside the face to understand him down onto the floor. Rias then casted 3 magic circles to hearth many varieties of spells on the smoker. He screamed in pain because the magic beams of strength reduced through his skin and bones, breaking them aside and bleed onto the floor before became shocked by way of lightning bolts. The whited-haired rook fires more magic at the smoker/cheater, and not going easy. For what Naruto had instructed her all approximately this ninja and what kind of he precipitated onto the blonde's older sister figure. So, this was some distance, and justice changed into given. Asuma became down for the depend with many wounds on his body and took some deep breath as he attempted to get up, however stopped while he saw the whited-haired girl was on foot toward and now proper next to him. For girls to peer you as a terrific man or woman that is a long way to them is difficult for me to peer, and that is for what you did to Naruto-kun and his older sister. Rias stated with a glare earlier than kicking the smoker in chin and broke his bones in month aside. At least Asuma won't be speaking for a while with his lies and may not smoke. Rias noticed this, became a ways and began to solid a magic circle onto the ninjas which have lost in magic seals, maintaining in line and no longer wide awake up from the overwhelmed. Cannot be too careful now. With the others, Tiamat failed to fight, however watched the whole thing with a smile on her face. On weak the fools are and paid for their crimes in opposition to the man she loved. Now there was best left, and one among them turned into with the sadist. Oh, this need to be exact. Naruto and the girls were accomplished with their weak ninjas and noticed that Akino had Hinata cornered to a wall with lightning dancing out of her fingertips and had a sadist smile on her face, searching forward on using her lightning magic on the individual that hurt the person she loved. The Hyuga saw that she that had no good fortune in beating the sadist female nor the other ladies. She then provide you with plan to apply the blonde like the toy she thought he is. Naruto, please store me from this whore. Hinata cried out with tears she compelled to return down onto her face. Naruto narrowed his eyes whilst the girls glared at the person who dares to invite for help after what she did. Those whores are seeking to manipulate you, Naruto-kun. I can deliver something they could not. Hinata said at the same time as making the blonde's ladies cross for calling him Naru and made her glad to thieve him another time into her facet by way of seducing him. What's that? Naruto requested while maintaining his narrowed eyes on the fool lady in the front of him. Proper love and happiness. These whores can't supply that to you, but I will, and please me assist take the whores out. Hinata replied with a lovely smile on her face even as tears stopped midway of her face and notion that she had seduced the blonde-haired youngster. The Hyuga had everything planned and soon smiled in victory, questioning that she had won and will have her toy once more on her facet with genuine hidden love seducing method. However failed to see anger in the blonde's and his girl's eyes for what she said. Akino, no, mercy, Naruto stated with a small smile developing on his face. Akino smiled in sadist-like manner earlier than launching a powerful bolt of thunder and lightning towards Hinata. The Hyuga lady watched in horror before screaming in pain on being hit through demonic and holy bolts of thunder and lightning whilst having her skin burning alive. The bolts stopped before going once more, however with extra strength, and induced the ninja to scream once more in ache. This stored going for 5 extra instances it stopped, leaving a burnt body of the Hyuga girl and her streamed from the pain. That, what you get whinge for looking to seal my guy for what you have executed to him, being all the devil's ladies and dragon thoughts, you dared to call my women whores and attempted to take me after what you probably did, bitch. No manner in hell I might be the equal foolish person you played with again then. Hope you experienced the gift on being Akino's toy for a while, Naruto said with a smirk on his face. The light's bolt stopped whilst the Hinata pasted out from the ache and precipitated Akino to pout a little. On her a laugh changed into reduced brief. Oh my, she down already, it is a shame, I'd have greater fun with my new toy. Akino stated with giggled and licked her arms with a small blush on her face. Naruto and the others sweat drop at Akino's sadist behavior. However, that who she is and we're first rate with that. Now, it really is taken care. I think we've one extra guest to take care of. It will be rude to depart him out. Naruto-kun, Tiamat said, making appropriate factor and pointed on the scarecrow ninja that becomes slowly turning into a new group toy for the wolf. Naruto nodded his head in agreement and said, quiet proper. Tiamat-chan, it'd be rude to go away Kakashi Baka out of this, and I've something in mind for him. Oh? And what punishment will that be, Naruto-kun? Akino asked, looking forward and causing ache onto the scarecrow. No spoilers, Akino-chan, Naruto answered with a smile on his face, causing Akino to pout. however, change to a smile and surprise what punishment her boyfriend has in mind. The alternative ladies surprised the identical and had some ideas in mind what Naruto will do on to Kakashi. Anything can occur, but be patient. There's handiest one left, and punishment will come to the white-haired scarecrow. The blonde and his girls walked over towards wherein Fenrir changed into preserving the scarecrow down. You rattling brat, this is what you deal with us after all we completed for you, Kakashi said with a glare earlier than grunting in pain because the wolf digs his claws into his shoulders. Sure, Naruto stated genuinely as he reached ahead into Scarecrow's ninja kit for something. Kakashi marveled at the beginning. However, his face paled and formed right into a horror look as he saw what the blonde-haired teenager had in his hand. His pervert books have been in the arms of the blonde. I, by no means prefer these trashy books, Naruto said with disliking look on his face before handing them to Revel. Sure, very trashed books. This pervert ninja has no shame taking walks around and reading pervert books in sunlight hours. I suppose I've way to cope with it for absolutely everyone, Revel stated with a grin on her face and had concept in mind. The alternative ladies and Naruto saw a gleam in the phoenix's eyes, understanding what she has in thoughts, and were happy for what comes subsequent. Revel summoned hearth in her hands before placing the pervert books on fireplace, destroying them in the front of Kakashi. The whited-haired pervert had tears in his eye as he turned into pressure to observe the books burning in the front him and checked out the blonde with deadly glare but changed into stopped whilst the crimson-haired lady complained slapped him within the face. You all screwed up the moment you banished Naruto. You don't have any rights to assert something or a person as your own home which you throw away, Rias said together with her eyes narrowed toward the scarecrow. I accept as true with that we need to have the three factions or Michael and Gabriel in gift and spot how properly they choose and what punishments you all deserve to your transgressions in opposition to Naruto-kun, Graphia delivered on whilst having her own glare on the ninjas. The opposite girls agreed to that. However, the blonde changed into thinking and concept of something one of a kind. He soon felt the acquainted draconic charisma that turned into coming toward the family, and he changed into now not only one. Tiamat had also felt the aura too and recognized what changed into going to happen next in a few minutes. As a good deal Naruto would like that. But he can't and needs the leaf to just get out of here. It does not suggest he can't do one greater component earlier than ninjas get relaxed into their home global. I have something else in mind. You, Kakashi, are going lower back on your world with you failed ninjas and supply that hellhole of a village a message for me. I need my peace and quiet, and if I see absolutely every one of your ninjas otherwise you again, I might not no longer spoil them like my ladies and that I did but kill them and supply the frame baggage. I'm now not your weapon or a few toy to play earlier than throwing it away. I am my personal character and will longer be a ninja from the Leaf Village, you understand proper scarecrow? Naruto stated together with his eyes narrowed and took a knee in the front of the whited-haired ninja. Kakashi failed to spoke back in the beginning however changed when Fenrir bit down at the shoulder and brought on him to scream in pain. Naruto and the women won't affect through it and simply looked like nothing occur. Do you recognize? Naruto asked while tapping his dragon arm on the white-haired ninja's brow. Kakashi couldn't talk now however nodded his head quick in pain and soon the ache stopped. Naruto smiled as his proper arm became included draconic aura and had idea smirk on his face that women know what he become going to do next. Exact. But in case you overlook the message, right here is something to remind you, Naruto said as he reached ahead together with his proper hand in the direction of the hidden eye. Kakashi commenced to ache and emerge as frightened all the surprising. The ninja is aware of what become going to occur next and started to transport out of the wolf's hold. However, he groaned in ache on having claws digging deeper into his pores and skin. Naruto's hand turned into included in crimson magic as he commenced to grab the cloth that keep the attention hidden and began to burn it off to his item in the front of him. He grabbed the attention of the scarecrow while the wolf holds him down. The white-haired ninja started to scream out loud before his mouth changed into blanketed by means of the identical cloth that stored his eye hidden, making him be quiet as the eye was ripped out of him. This changed into pay back to him and the alternative ninja that prompted him pain. Quickly the ninja blacked from the pain and dropped onto the floor weak. Naruto mumbled as he crashed the eye before him in his proper hand and sighed from the whole thing. Earlier than anything else, a red magic circle seemed out of nowhere and teleported the leaf ninjas away. In the beginning Naruto, the women, and Wolf were taken again, but soon recognized who used that magic and who it belongs to. It additionally belonged to the draconic air of secrecy that the purple and blue dragon felt before, and the alternative started to feel a chunk, having the concept who it became and apprehend the entirety. I take it that we should have the dates unmaintained for the day, Naruto-kun, a acquainted girl voice said, getting the others to examine the voice and recognize who it become. Yasaka had ultimately came down from setting her daughter away and positioned a soundproof seal on bedroom for the adults to speak. Naruto smiled alas on what the fox said was proper, because the dragon arm disappeared in a green flash away and the blonde commenced to seat down on the primary sofa from everything that show up. Why, cannot they leave me alone? I've the whole lot I ever wanted, and but those that triggered me ache cannot go away me by myself, Naruto said as he placed his proper hand on his brow along with his eyes closed and sighed deeply. The ladies saw how much this affected their boyfriend and what pain he had to address for goodbye. Naruto had helped everyone as his king's peerage, and others before himself. He had some nightmares of his past but pushed it aside for his new life and revel in existence he loved so much. The blonde-haired teenager turned into approximately to mention something but felt something on, and shortly opened his eyes to see his ladies resting on him. Rias rested on the blonde's proper shoulder, as she rested on his right facet. Kuno rested at the left shoulder as she rested on left aspect. Grafia and Yasaka rested in the back of as they wrapped their hands across the neck and placed him on their lap. Being on every leg, Ravel and Kaneko took his lap, hugging him and rested on his chest. Rosweiss and Tiamat took his hips and located their heads on it. Kuroka became in her black cat shape and rested directly to his head. No phrase changed into spoken, however Naruto smiled and closed his eyes and sighed the warm embrace with his girls. He may ought to face his beyond again. However, he knows that he may not do alone, and that makes it glad. Wow, you all had a party without us, Coriana commented with a smirk on her face from seeing what occurred while she and maximum of the other ladies were away. Coriana, Jean, Asia, Lefay, and Tsubasa were again, whilst the other devils had been doing their own issue around city. Valerie changed into with Gasper. Both were going looking for a few clothes and may not be back for some time. Grafia offers Coriana a clean appearance with one eyebrow raised as she helped Akino, Zenobia, Rosweiss, and Tiamat in cleansing the reduced to rubble from what occurred with the leaf ninjas. Kuroka raised an eyebrow as she lay down at the couch like a lazy cat. Fenrir became taking walks outdoor and doing canine such things as marking his spots and digging for a few bones and again yield. Kaneko and Ravel shook their heads as they dusted a touch around the dwelling room earlier than sitting down. The opposite women had arrived to peer the mess being wiped clean up and couldn't see their boyfriend around in any respect. Grafia, where is Naruto-kun, Rias, and Yasaka? Asia requested, considering the fact that the blonde-haired teenager became now not within the dwelling. Rias and Yasaka had been additionally now not inside the residing room for some purpose. Maximum thought that the two had been going after Naruto for a huge moment, but changed whilst the silver-haired maid instructed them about what the Leaf Village desired of him, and it prompted some ache in his coronary heart from remembering little of his beyond. There with Kuno to check if she is best from feeling our auras all of the sudden, and later someday at some point of the day, Naruto-kun should make a call to the 3 faction leaders. Grafia responded as she finished with cleaning the rugs and solid a magic to make them mine new. Why the unexpected name for the leaders? Grafia-sama? Lefay requested as she and the opposite women positioned the foods away. Lefay will upload Sama to everyone names and now and again Naruto if she can't assist it, due to the leaf ninjas coming here all of the sudden at the same time, as we have no concept how they did, and a person teleported them again to the homeworld. It does want the unexpected name and a meeting will come about. I'm wondering how will Naruto-kun address his beyond coming up all the surprising? Grafia knowledgeable while thinking about what her boyfriend is probably going through. This triggered many to marvel what the silver-haired maid stated in concept approximately their boyfriend's past. All of them know about Naruto's beyond and the masks he wears to hide his pain. The masks covers lots of his scars he received both on his frame and mind. No longer many should damage the masks. But Middle Magic Girl Devil faced him and broke through the mask, which triggered him to open up to others and started out the recuperation process. At the present time the mask is not want, and Naruto become healed. However, these days changed into exceptional, and the beyond has arise again. The girls of the harem have the proper to be a worry for the man they love so much. Naruto-kun will do simply best Grafia due to the fact he has us with him, Jean stated with a smile on her face. Asia nodded her head in settlement, and stated, "Yes, Naruto-kun has us to be there for him, and I'm glad to be there for him, while the time comes." Tsubasa smirked at the two blondes' remark and stated, "If everybody ought to come again for the hit, it is Naruto-kun, and he'll continually have us to be at his aspect, yep. Luffy agreed with a smile on her face and nodded her head in a happy be counted. Identical here. I'm now not going to allow a few vulnerable ninjas hurt Naruto-kun or carry him lower back to a village he hates. He has us, and we've him," Coriana stated with a grin on her face. This triggered Grafia, Akino, Kuroka, Zenobia, Raswise, Tiamat, Kaneko, and Ravel to smile at their fellow harem sisters' phrases about their guy, understanding their words had been real and that all of them might be there for Naruto like he does for them. And in talking of the blonde, let's have a look at what's taking place with him, and the alternative ladies which can be with him upstairs. Upstairs we see Naruto and Yasaka washing their daughter, Kuno, for the day and changed into new garments for the rest of the evening. Rias watched from the sides as she brushed her lengthy hair with a small smile on her face and seemed a mirror. "Two-san, are you mad?" Kuno asked as her mom washed her face and father her lower back. "No, why?" Naruto asked, being taken lower back at Kuno asking him that query. He became satisfied with a smile on his face and had no cause to be dissatisfied whatsoever. "The human beings that harm you got here returned and desired you to shop them. Are you mad they discover you or demand matters from you in which they cannot, Two-san?" Kuno requested even as her mom finished cleansing her face. Naruto smiled at his stepdaughter for being smarter than she appears. Kuno perhaps younger and will be strong like her mom and her young adults at some point. She did lead the Kyoto's Yukai faction for a brief whilst and shown fantastic promise to make her parents pleased with her. "I was mad, yes, however I'm now not going to let them manipulate me or my existence. I am glad to be with my circle of relatives and you, Kuno-chan, inside the era of peace to enjoy," Naruto responded as he rubbed Kuno's cheeks together with his right hand. Kuno smiled at her father's words and became satisfied to have a family to enjoy. "That's excellent to hear, Naruto-kun. I'm sorry that brand new dates could be put on preserve for some time," Yasaka said as she completed cleansing her daughter up and drained the bathtub of its water. "That's nice, Yasaka-chan. I can make it up to all people for another day for dates, and that I think my different women might need to sleep me for the night to make it as much as them." Naruto spoke back as he grabbed a towel to dry his daughter off. "Genuine. But we can watch for whilst the night comes. It's nonetheless midday and we have some time to enjoy the relaxation of the day." Rias agreed as she finishes brushing her hair and walked toward the blonde-haired teenager. "Yeah," Naruto stated with a grin on his face. Agreeing to loosen up the afternoon with his women, Naruto will enjoy his time along with his women. But he need to now not neglect in making a name to the three faction leaders on what happened. That must be the remaining factor he doses before delivering for the night. But that could wait, and the blonde will experience the relaxation of the day together with his ladies. Time bypassed the afternoon, made its way in the direction of the evening for the Devil's Dragon, and Wolf Quick then the idea, and they all enjoyed the day like all people else might. Yuto had come back from his date with Tsubaki and turned into fun for them. The film Frozen led them to stroll round Metropolis for lunch earlier than parting away for the night. So, maybe lovebirds had an amusing day and hoped to head for any other one. Naruto, Grafia, Raswise, and Ravel sat on the primary sofa, working at the mild novels or books for the underworld and human global to revel in. The blonde-haired teen started out writing books approximately many adventures and history of all distinctive factions from his point of view. The books made a huge hit, and assists became wished. Grafia self-edits the mild novels and reads them over with Naruto on something they could find together for the books. Raswise runs the money, no marvel there, and manages the funds closer to everybody else to have a truthful percentage. Ravel is the main manger for the blonde's light novels to post the books out to the public and does an amazing job at it. Valerie, Lefay, Coriana, and Gasper have been gambling though fish to skip the time. Zenobia and Yuto had just gotten again from a little sparring for training and relaxation down to sign up for the sport. Kuroka and Kaneko joined inside the card recreation after their senjutsu lesson. Fenrir become ingesting water out his bowl earlier than strolling around the livening room and relaxation on one of the sofas. Rias, Akino, and Asia have been cooking dinner for absolutely everyone and wore aprons that matched their hair coloration. They have been cooking white rice with butter, eggs, and pink salmon to a Japanese style. Naruto might cook dinner, but he had labored on his books and the three ladies supplied to cook dinner for the night. earlier than each person else could finish or do anything else. A sound of the doorbell ring would give all of us attention closer to the principal doors of the residence, and wonder who became on the door. Naruto sighed as he stood up and walked in the direction of the doors. I can get that. I'm wondering who that may be. Naruto requested himself as he walked closer to the door and opened it for who changed into at the door, before the blonde-haired youngster should see who was on the door or say something. He was hugged by using a person that brought about to lose his balance but regained it to see who become hugging him all sudden and smiled on locating out who turned into hugging him. He used his wind magic to close and lock the principal doors as he enjoyed his angel is again domestic. Irina Shido, the angel, an ace of Michael, had come back domestic from a challenge and hugged her boyfriend. She is a stunning young girl with chestnut hair and violet eyes. Her hair is generally tied into dual tails, every held with a blue scrunchie. But on some events she shall weave her hair down. She wears a mild pink blouse with white strips marks on her sleeves, blue jeans, and white sports footwear for jogging. Hey, Irina-chan, Naruto greeted with a grin on his face as he hugged his prospective lady friend. It is excellent to peer again, Naruto-kun. I pass over you. Irina greeted again with a smile on her face. I miss you too, Irina-chan, my angel. Naruto spoke back as he held his angel female friend and smiled in the warm embrace. Once the two ended their hug, Naruto helped Irina with her luggage and walked towards the dwelling room to wonder all and sundry to who turned into again. The angel of Michael had met Naruto throughout the mid-teens in England and played like pals could, which they turn out to be pals. Quickly enough Irina and her associate, Zenobia, went to Japan to discover the holy swords that were taken from the church by way of Rouge fallen angels and had been set to locate them. When they met later, the chestnut lady became surprised that her friend turned into a Satan and had a hard time agreeing with it. However, later changed into pleasant with it, and went alongside the venture. Some day after the holy sword undertaking, she became an angel and now has a total of 4 wings. Irina had feelings for Naruto, but ought to never open them due to on being an angel and fearful of falling. It took a long while for them to open their feelings up, but the blonde-haired youngster asked the angel out on a date all through their wintry weather smash to open their emotions closer to every. Once finding out her emotions are pure, she kissed the Satan and did not fall, making them satisfied, and later started out their dating to the subsequent degree. Wager who came back, Naruto requested as he and Irina walked into the dwelling room. This got everyone attention and will inform that who was right here made the blonde-haired youngster satisfied. They soon noticed Irina and smiled at her for coming home. Before the angel should say anything, she was jumped into a group hug by way of Zenobia, Jean, and Asia as she hugged her friends again. Welcome back, Irina, Asia greeted her buddy as she and other pals provide the angel pal a few space. How was your experience? Jean requested. Okay for the most part, Irina replied. How so? Zenobia asked, wondering what her pal meant. Not anything too terrible, simply airports had a few troubles that my flight to attend longer, and the church have been establishing houses for kids that don't have homes, Irina replied with a grin on her face, remembering the time she spent with children and played with them. It is splendid to listen that the church has taken in my kids in the Lord's name, Asia said, smiling at how the church become doing and taking exchange for as soon as the blonde-haired nun and her fellow buddies placed their palms together and started to pray for the good information. Amen. Irina, Jean, Zenobia, and Asia stayed inside the union to wish and brought on a few devils inside the dwelling room to have complications, all of the unexpected from the pray. Naruto sighed with a small smile on his face at the same time as shaking his head of the prey positive. He felt a little headache, but he has dealt with it earlier then and nothing to him or the others. The cause why Zenobia, Asia, and Jean ought to pray without being an ache changed into that their boyfriend had asked a request from Michael to permit them to wish evening if they may be devils. So yeah, there has been that, and moving on. Earlier than anything else, a knock turned into heard from the door again and triggered all and sundry to wonder yet again who changed into on the door. I can get it, Naruto said with a sigh leaving his lips and began to make his way in the direction of the door for another guest again. The blonde-haired teenager surprised who was at his door this time and commenced to sense a familiar charisma at the door. However, who? Those mind had been disregarded when he opens the door to reply who at it, and soon smiled at the new visitor he is aware of all too properly, Sona Citri, heiress of the Citri extended family, a formative years pal of Rias and lady friend to Naruto. She is a young bespectacled woman with a narrow figure, black hair styled in a quick bob reduce and violet eyes. She wears a white get-dress blouse, a black jacket, skirt, leggings, and dress footwear. The blonde had met the black-haired heiress at some stage in their time at college and at lunch for a chess sport to the factor they saved being on draws and don't have any winners of their chess game. Naruto has excessive factors in Sona and believes in her for her dream of constructing a raiding recreation school for every rank. Sona in the beginning didn't understand what to think of Naruto because of him on carrying the masks, and now not commencing to others that care approximately him, but changed when her older sister broke through the masks and he started out to open to each person he cares about. The two went on dates earlier than beginning their courting and saved their engagement on keep. Amusing reality. Naruto is engaged to 4 people in his harem and had been set to be married, but they need to wait a touch while before taking the huge step, and the blondes have a unique concept in mind. Now it really is out of the way. Let's get back to the tale with our blonde-haired hero. Right afternoon, Sona-chan. Naruto greeted his other female friend with a grin on his face and allowed her to our available in. Desirable afternoon to you too, Naruto-kun. Sona greeted with a smile as she walked into the residence. I take it you need to sign up for dinner and some downtime with me? Naruto asked as he took his female friend's jacket off and hold it. Sona allowed the jacket to come back off and said, yes, and Rias advised me that you have faced your past. Naruto failed to say anything at the start as he placed the coat away and changed into no longer a surprise that Rias had known as her childhood pal of what befell. They do share the person they love and it the pink-haired Satan might have referred to as her buddy on what befell. I see. However, I am high quality now, Sona-chan. Naruto stated with a small smile on his face. I will inform but understand that we're here for you, Naruto-kun, Sona said with a smile on her face as she got toward hug Naruto. Naruto hugged Sona lower back in a warm include for a while earlier than they made their way closer to the residing room to sign up for dinner. Time bypasses the night time comes and dinner became accomplished. The devils, dragon, foxes, and wolf rested for the afternoon before getting into for the night time. The afternoon was gradual, and matters were carried out quicker than all people thinks. Paintings on books, schooling to now not fall behind, and some housework became done for the day. Naruto held Kuno in his palms as he and Yasaka read their daughter a bedtime tale to assist her doze off faster for the night time. Fenrir rested in a dog mattress in the living room and the other ladies went upstairs to wonder their boyfriend. I suppose it's time for little Kuno to get a few sleep for the night time, Yasaka said as she were given up from the sofa and her boyfriend followed behind. I agree. I can take Kuno-chan to her room and met you in the foremost room. Naruto agreed as he and the fox strolled upstairs. Fenrir slept downstairs and smiled in his sleep for his grasp. Evening today he faced a touch bit of his beyond. The blonde pushed it aside and no longer allowed the ache of his beyond to hurt him. The wolf became glad for his master and may be at his aspect regardless of what. Naruto had made him toward his stepdaughter's room. That becomes some distance away from his room and will are available and if something happens. He opens the door and made his manner closer to the mattress to location Kuno all the way down to relaxation for the night time. He positioned her down whilst pulling the covers over her and provide her a kiss on the cheeks, inflicting her to grin in her sleep as she rested for the night. The blonde-haired teenager smiled at his daughter as he left the room at the same time as being cautious now not to wake her up and started out to make his way in the direction of the primary room. He wonders what his girls have in mind for the night and is aware of it won't be something overbroad, but something enjoyable for them to enjoy. That's excellent for his component for now and wants to await the right time. Naruto soon opens the doorways of his bedroom and soon blushed in deep crimson of what his women had in mind for the night. His girls have been carrying bras and panties with log stocking with garter belts, and the blonde-haired teenager turned into misplaced for phrases. Rias wore crimson with purple, Akino wore darkish crimson, Kuroka wore white, Yasaka wore yellow, Graphia wore silver, Sona wore black, Asia wore inexperienced, Zenobia wore blue with green, Irina wore white, Rosweiss wore white with blue, Coriana wore light purple, Tiamat wore sky blue, Valerie wore pink, Jean wore orange, Tsubasa wore dark blue, Kaneko wore blue, Ravel wore vivid yellow, and Lefei wore blue with yellow. Naruto was so greatly surprised that he did not saw Yasaka the use of her tails to tug him into mattress for the night, and the ladies started out enjoyable within the heat bed, with their boyfriend, The blonde soon got over his shock and blushed face with a grin on his face, and commenced to shut his eyes to relax along with his girls. He had the whole lot he ever desired and won't strive whatever for it. He is aware of that he's going to should be in a meeting with the 3 faction leaders about what came about among him and the Leaf Ninjas. However, he shook those mind apart and began to doze off in the heat include with his girls. Kyoto, Japan. Even as the glad group relaxes for the night time, something was going and occurring in Kyoto, Japan. A collection of Leaf Ninjas were still within the new global and haven't any concept that their allies have disappeared returned to the Leaf Village. The organization changed into being watched by a effective being now not some distance away and watched them till this developing with the concept to marvel the blonde-haired Satan. My, Naruto will be satisfied with this wonder, a voice stated inside the night time, being a female and spoke within the monotone of voice, with a snap of a finger. A crimson magic circle seemed beneath the Leaf Ninja organization and teleported them away until it turned into time to satisfy Naruto again. At the same time as this is going on, something changed into occurring. The Kyoto's ley line goes all unexpected with huge churka pulsing all through the vicinity, and something changed into waking. Who or what is unknown however became growing and constructing power as each day goes by means of unknown regions. So, your past has come again, my rival, Naruto. How can you conquer this? An amazing question, and I have a feeling that in the next 3 faction meeting will be exciting. A male voice spoke as he seems up into the night sky with his eyes narrowed.